Hi everyone, Wendy Taylor here from Windsor, Ontario, and I'm excited to be with you again this evening. Tonight I want to talk about mothers, and I think mothers deserve a lot more than just one day on Sunday, so I think we're going to celebrate mothers. This is Thursday, and to go right through the weekend and celebrate it each day. If you have a mother, I just want to say I would encourage you to reach out to her, get her flowers, spend time with her, do FaceTime with her or something. But be grateful if you have a mother. If you've had hard feelings between the two of you, forgive her and move forward. Because it is just so important that we love our mothers and that we are there for them. I know I lost my mother a few years back and I miss her almost every day. So be grateful if you have a mother and show her your love. Well, I want to talk to all you mothers out here now. I have a little story I want to tell you. There was a teacher that had a classroom of young children and she was teaching them math, and she said to them, now, I just want to know how many pieces of pie mother would cut if she was cutting for the family. There were 8 children and then a mother and father. How many pieces of pie should she cut? And Johnny says 9. And the teacher says, well, let's go over that again, Johnny. We've got 8 children, mother and father. How many pieces of pie should we cut? He said 9. I know my mother. She would say that she doesn't want any. And you know, isn't that the way mothers are? So often, if there's one piece of dessert left, the mother's the first one to say, oh, I didn't want any anyway. Let the family have it. And we learn from very young to be selfless and to let our family come first and our needs second. And it's a wonderful, wonderful attribute that many mothers have. Well, I want to read a little story to you, just a few little things that I thought were really cute. Only a mother will be a Scrabble partner with a kid who thinks cookie begins with K. That's the truth. Only a mother will unwind 56 feet of toilet paper so her little darling can have the empty roll to make her a Mother's Day gift. Another one, only a mother will try to hide a leafy green vegetable in a cookie. Now don't tell me some of you haven't tried that before. I know I've tried to hide vegetables in all kinds of foods. Only a mother can switch from cook to catcher in an instant. Only a mother has a bathtub that's filled with little yellow duckies. Those are just a few. I thought they were so cute. And I thought, yes, that I could picture myself in almost all of those. You know, if you are not a mother, I want to say that I honor you as well, because most women are a mother to other children when you are not a mother yourself. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. I found out very early on in my marriage that I could not have children. I knew that God had given me a mother's heart, and I wanted to be a mother more than anything in the world. And so after about 2 or 3 years, we decided to go into fostering, and we became group home parents in Kitchener, Ontario. We moved there, my husband and I moved there, and we took in 6 emotionally disturbed teenage boys. I was 23 years old. The children were anywhere from 13 to 16 years old. And to say it was challenging was an understatement. I found out my husband was very gifted in working with children. He knew how to be firm, but yet he could have fun with them, and he had a great sense of humor, and they loved him. Meanwhile, I tried to spoil them with making cookies and candy and sneaking things into their lunch, thinking they would just love me. The truth was they had no respect for me when my husband wasn't around. So I had to learn how to work with these children, and it was very challenging, but I did eventually learn. You know, I always felt like being a mom was the number one thing in my life. That I have done many things. I've written some books, and I do speaking and traveling, there's different things that I do, women's ministry. But being a mom has always been number one. I loved being a mother. And you know, after we started fostering and I was saying goodbye to one child after another, I finally decided that we were going to adopt a couple children. We did adopt a boy and a girl. They were both around 4 months and 3 months, 4 years apart. And today our son is in Florida and he's a music artist, Brent Taylor, if you want to look him up on YouTube. But we're very proud of him because he has continued to serve the Lord and to put God first in his life. Well, you know, I can remember when we were with the foster children, each night we would read them a story about Jesus or a Christian out of our little Christian book with pictures. And we would tell them how much God loved them, because many of these children came from homes where they had been neglected, abandoned, abused, and they didn't have much trust for adults at all. And to teach them that Jesus loved them more than they could realize, and helping them to work through the unforgiveness that was in their hearts was an amazing experience. And we saw one child after another to be set free and to really begin loving God and changing their life around. For my adopted children, the one thing I remember more than anything is each night when they would go to bed, I would sing to them. I sang, Jesus, Jesus, there's just something about that name. And I would sing that song while they were going to sleep. And I believe that stuck in their minds because both of them loved the Lord and wanted to follow his ways. You know, since then, I've had many young moms that have come up to me and they have said to me, my mom died when I was just a child and I never grew up with a mother. And is there any way that you would be my mother? And I've been able to pray for them. I've been able to pray for their children. And some of them even call me Nana and Papa. And it's just been a great honor for me to be able to be a grandmother and a mother to other people as well. You know, one thing I just love about Jesus is that when he was on the cross, he looked down and he saw his mother and he said, behold my mother, behold your mother. And he was speaking to John. And he was concerned that his mother would be looked after he died. And I thought, here he was dying a very cruel, cruel death on the cross, nailed to a cross, and thinking about his mother. What an example. I'd like to read to you a little bit about a mother's love. There are times when only a mother's love can understand our tears, can soothe our disappointments, and calm all our fears. There are times when only a mother's love can share the joy we feel, when something we have dreamed about quite suddenly is real. There are times when only a mother's faith can help us on life's way and inspire in us the confidence we need from day to day. For a mother's faith and a mother's steadfast love were fashioned by the angels and sent from God above. And I believe that God has given mothers that special love in their heart for children. And I'd like to read you a little bit from 2 Timothy 1:5. And this is Paul writing to Timothy, and he's remembering that Timothy had a very godly heritage. He had a mother and a grandmother who loved God, and it's because of them and their faith that Timothy was the man that he was, and he was able to write a book in the Bible. I'm calling up memories of your sincere and unqualified faith, the leaning of your entire personality on God, in Christ, in absolute trust and confidence in his power, wisdom, and goodness. A faith that first lived permanently in the heart of your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and now, I am fully persuaded, dwells in you also. I know some of the people that are watching today have had a godly heritage where you've had mothers and fathers that have loved God, that have prayed for you, grandparents that have prayed for you. I know I did. I had a grandmother and grandfather on both sides of my family, mother and father's side. And they loved God and they prayed for their children and for the generations following. Some of you have been blessed with that, but some of you are first generation Christians and you've become a Christian, but your family is not Christian, or maybe you're not even a Christian yet. I want to encourage you that today we can change our lives and become that born-again Christian and change the generations to come after us. You can set the example of generations to follow you. I know for myself, I want to be remembered for my faith in God and setting the example that would honor Jesus Christ, and that my life was becoming more and more like him. I want you to know I'm far from perfect. I am not nearly where I feel that I should be or where I want to be. But I do love the Lord with all my heart, and I'm asking him each day to make me more like him. So, you know, if you have everything but lack in your relationship with God, you really have nothing. Because that is the only thing that is really, really, really matters in this world. One day we're all going to say goodbye to this world, to our families. And the only thing that will matter is your relationship with Jesus Christ. It won't matter how much money you have in the bank, how many vacations you've gone on, or how much power you have, or fame. None of that will matter. The only thing that matters is the person that you were in the relationship you have with Jesus Christ. You know, God wants us to be the mothers, godly mothers, that he's called us to be. And I'm going to read one last little prayer before I go. And I hope this little devotional that I'm doing with you is encouraging you. Dear Lord, it's such a hectic day with little time to stop and pray. For life's been anything but calm since you called on me to be a mom. Running errands, matching socks, building dreams with building blocks. Cooking, cleaning, and finding shoes. And other stuff that children lose. Fitting lids on bottled bugs. Wiping tears and giving hugs. A stack of last week's mail to read. So where's the quiet time I need? Yet when I steal a minute, Lord, just at the sink or ironing board, to ask the blessings of your grace, I see then in my small one's face that you have blessed me all the while, and I stop to kiss that precious smile. Happy Mother's Day weekend for each one of you mothers that are watching. I hope your families are good to you. And I want to tell you a little secret. If your families don't give you chocolates or take you for dinner, or I guess today we can't really get to a restaurant for dinner, something special, treat yourself. Go to a drugstore if it's got to be Shoppers. Get yourself a big box of chocolates. Get yourself something, buy flowers, do something for yourself. Because we all deserve it. If we are a mother, we deserve it. May God richly bless you, and I will talk to you again in a few days, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. Bye-bye.